As I previously mentioned, we're going to talk about how we measure sound in terms of its strength or its volume inside of a computer. We talk about decibels. So a decibel is a unit for measuring sound, similar to how we measure distances in centimeters or inches or feet or meters, kilometers and miles. We measure weight in pounds or kilograms and things like that. We measure the volume of sound using this unit called a decibel. And when we look down at our faders here, that's what they're using. So say I'm looking at this bass track. If I grab this fader and change it, you see this number changing here? That number is giving us decibels. When I hover over it, I get this little indicator, minus 0.8 dB. That's decibels. Now, 0 decibels in the digital world here means that's full volume. That's like normally the maximum. Now, these faders can go above 0 dB. They can boost the audio even further, but if you were to leave this set at 0 dB, as we learned before, the audio signal comes in the top and comes through the fader. If it remains at 0 decibels, it will not get changed. It will come in at a certain volume and output at exactly the same volume. If we make any changes to the fader, we are changing the power or the volume of the audio signal. So it comes in at a certain volume, but then the fader changes it. It either reduces it or it boosts it, and then we see how much it's being reduced or boosted. So in this case, it's been reduced by 5.7 decibels. Now it's at negative 5.7, because at 0, it would be the same as when it came in. But now we've taken it down 5.7 dB. Going up, we could go up, say 5.7 dB, 5.9, whatever it happens to be. And that's how we alter the volume of the audio signals and how we talk about volume in general inside of Studio One and all digital music applications in general. A change of between, say, 6 and 10 decibels, because it's not a perfect number that we can just say, is a perceived doubling of the volume or halving of the volume. If we boost something by between 6 to 10 decibels, let's say 7 or 8, that will be perceived to us as doubling the volume of that sound. So that's important to know. And the same goes in reverse. If we go minus 6 to 10 decibels, we will perceive that as being half the volume of what it was before. Now let's think about this for a second. If I took this fader and I put it to 6 dB, so it's getting plus 6 decibels. It comes in at a certain volume, it's getting boosted by 6, so it's doubling its volume, so we think, so our ears hear it to be doubled, and then it gets output out this channel and input into the main fader. Now, if I take the main fader and put it at minus 6, it will now be back to where it was. It came in at a certain volume, got boosted by 6, came into this channel, got reduced by 6, putting it back to 0, and it'll be the same volume. So let's give an example of that. I'm going to take the piano. I'll first just undo those things. Let's take the piano. Now you can see the meter is hitting up to around 24 dB. I'm going to boost it up to 0. It's at a minus 11.9 right now, so I'm going to put it to 0. I'm going to take this one and put it at minus 11.9. Now look on this meter, it's hitting right at 24. These meters work together, and they work in the same way. When the audio comes in here and we boost it, if we get rid of that boost here, it will effectively have been that we did nothing to it, except that this fader is going to change the volume of all the tracks altogether, and this channel is going to just change the volume of that one instrument. So to review, we measure sound levels or volume levels in decibels, dB. Going plus 6 or minus 6 approximately decibels will sound to us like doubling the volume of something. All of the volume measurements inside of Studio One are measured in dB. Even if we come up here to one of these events and we grab this little thing, now watch what happens. You see that 0.0 dB, start pulling it down. It's telling us what it's at now. It's telling us we're at minus 8 or 9 dB. everything is measured in dB, decibels, and 0 dB means full volume, or in another sense, it means no change to the volume. That's maximum of exactly as it came into the channel. It removes unaffected if that fader stays at 0 dB. The fader can boost or reduce the volume, but 0 will leave it where it is. The faders work with each other, so if we minus 11 on this fader, and then we minus 11 on this fader, we would get minus 22 decibels overall for that sound. That's really all there is to the basics of decibels and how we measure sound and volume inside of Studio One.